All right, welcome back into Indiebnb. Today I'm joined by the boys from Pump Action, Jack, Trent, Pop, and Spencer. Boys, how we feeling today on this Nashville evening for y'all?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Well, I want to give a shout out before we begin here. I would, I was unknown to you guys. You were unknown to me, and then my buddy Texas, aka Evan Bennett, he texted me and goes, "You heard of this band Pump Action?" And I go, "No." And then he sent me Euphoria, which then led me down the rabbit hole of all of the just funkadelic hits you guys have. So big shout out to Texas for he's y'all's number one fan. So when you come to Atlanta, I'm bringing him to the show and we'll put him right in the front.
His nickname is Texas?
Yeah, it's really dumb. He's from Texas and he moved to Georgia when we were we were in seventh grade, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm Evan. I'm from Texas," and we're like, "Okay, so you're Texas now."
He's like, your name Texas. What part of Georgia are you from, dude?
Yeah, we're both based out of Atlanta.
Come on now, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, that's right.
Town, you already know.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here. But you boys all you all met up at University of Miami, some place that I'm familiar with, as my father works down there right now. But talk to me. I mean, where is the scene in Coral Gables?
We're still trying to find that out. Yeah.
Sunset Tavern.
Yeah, I mean, we in college, like, we kind of played anywhere from the Florida Keys to Delray, and like West Palm. It really kind of depended on what the gig was, but for most of our time down there, we were kind of like more of a cover band because there's just not a lot of original venues down there. So we just figured we would just play as many bars would let us play and take all the money and move to Nashville, and it's kind of what happened. So yeah, the scene is it's a unique one to say the least.
So were y'all Red Hot? I saw on one of y'all's like social posts. It's like, were y'all a Red Hot Chili Peppers cover band, or that was like was that? I know y'all were joking on this one, where it was like, hey, the Red Hot Chili Peppers band just cover band just goes rogue. Like, what did y'all start like that, or what would y'all play?
Pop, if you want to get to the origin story, you can.
Well, you were asking like what type of music we played in college?
Yeah, just like the cover. What would y'all cover? I mean, like island music, or what was it? What was going on there?
Yeah, on our social media, we've been like every cover band now at this point. We've been a Green Day cover band, a Weezer, Chili Peppers, Metallica. I think we have a Slayer video. It's all untrue. All of it's fabricated. But yeah, we did a couple covers here and there, and Pop is kind of the founder of the band, and he kind of spurred everything in motion to get us to be an original music act, from the get-go.
Yeah, I got to college really wanting to start a band, and then kind of made it my mission in the first couple months to make that happen. The bass teacher that I studied with for the first year had told me that Jack was this crazy drummer coming in from Philly. I met Spencer like the first day of school, and then later heard him at a like coffee house on campus and like a writer's round type of thing, and was like, okay, I got a singer. And then we kind of were playing for a little bit, and then realized we needed another like melodic aspect, like a guitar or something. And so we kind of were auditioning a couple people. I threw Trent's name in because I had class with him, and then as soon as Trent started playing with us, it was kind of settled that was our core four. But as far as what we played, like we played everything in college. We played Michael Jackson, we played Chris Stapleton, we played
Weezer,
the Beatles, like literally everything that you could think of. And then as time went on, we were writing more, so our sets kind of turned more from cover sets, adding more originals into it, and then that's kind of how we started to switch from cover band to original band, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of venues down there. As I've done my bands in town, and unless you're a DJ, like you got really limited options. It feels like in Coral Gables. So did that kind of spur the move to Nashville to kind of get more, more of that kind of scene around you guys, so you can develop a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, that was the driving factor. I think more than anything, just not only is it a tough scene and a lack of venues, but just geographically, it's so far away. I mean, if you want to get to Atlanta, it's a 9-10 hour drive. That's really just to get to the first big city out of the state. And we just didn't really see any bands. There's a couple, but most of the bands that were sort of taking the next step from where we were, they weren't touring outside of Florida all that much. And it just didn't feel like a spot where we could really grow to the level we wanted to get to. And I think we just also all wanted to be in a place that was really like music centric more than anything. We talked about LA, we talked about New York, talked about Austin, just kind of all the bigger music cities in town. But we visited Nashville first and we loved it and never even looked at another city as the four of us together. It just made sense. And and we've been here for almost 2 years now.
Nice. And did that kind of spur, like, as y'all, we start getting into, releasing music, like when did y'all start that? Was some of that, some of y'all Spotify released in college? Like, were there some things that kind of just, hey, we started really truly anew, like when we went to Nashville and we're like, all right, we're no longer covering, we're going all originals and, going from there.
The vast majority of our stuff that's out was released before moving here. But yeah, it was a conversation that we had very deliberately. Like when we moved to Nashville, we're not doing like cover sets and things like that.
Yeah.
We did it in college. Like we built up some capital and also just like the reps of playing together a lot. But it's a possibility to move to Nashville and become a cover band and be only a cover band.
Yeah.
It's not only a possibility, but it's kind of a well-trodden path that a lot of bands have taken and a lot of artists have taken. And we were very intentional about not doing that because that's not what we wanted to be. No. I mean, obviously more power to the people if that's what they want to do, but that wasn't our trajectory. That's not what we were trying to go for.
For sure. Yeah. Well, with y'all's, like, I mean, all the tunes you guys have, if anybody hadn't heard them, very funky, very much like, I can see a live performance being very keyed on each of you guys knowing each other very well, which, like, when you guys go back and watch, do you go back and watch live performances? This is one of my bands, Stolen Gin, that I've had on this show. Like they said that they like went back and watched game tape, and so that they could see when people's quirks are happening and when to come in, when to not to come in. So like, based on what I've heard from your music, like, is that something that, if I were to see you live, that's something to definitely expect, is just like the, tightened up jam that we can, all love?
Yeah, we definitely have film study in various forms. That's definitely what Trent would call it from his college football mindset. Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty unique in the sense that we basically had 2 or 3 years to like marinate as a group together and just play all these covered dates and get super tight. So when we were at the place where we could be an original centric act and put all our energy into that, we already had the live set down to a pretty tight level and knew what it would take to get new songs that way too. So having college almost as that incubator period was pretty lucky, and I think it really did help us hit the ground running by the time we got to Nashville.
Got it.
Yeah.
For you guys, like when you're creating, now we're, probably are you guys in a writing process right at this moment, or like what's the, Trent mentioned you guys all three got together for a little writing session today. Like, what does that like kind of look like, to the layman?
It depends on the song. There are some songs that are that come out as fully fleshed ideas, like come to the band with a fully formed thing. Other songs are like, hey, Pop comes in, he's like, I got this bass line, let's jam for 30 minutes and find something that works. That's kind of what we're doing today. And there's some things like the first couple of songs that we wrote were like voice memos of Jack playing piano from like 5 or 6 years before that were like, let's flesh out this idea that I have. So it depends on the song. A lot of them come out in various ways, but they all kind of, after they are realized in whatever form individually, they come together and become something different when we play them collectively.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think like for Euphoria specifically, how did that one come from? That's kind of our song spotlight today. How did that one come from something to nothing, or from nothing to something? Where did that one begin in the journey?
Yeah, Euphoria is a song that I wrote for a class project, actually, my freshman year. And I finished it. I finished it right after COVID started in 2020. And it was like I had a demo that I had to do for like a production class, and I did out like a whole demo. Like I even had like a MIDI like saxophone solo thing that I had on there, and I had to make a music video, I think, for the next semester. So the song has been the song has lived for a long time before it actually came out. We didn't play it as a band until I want to say 2022, maybe even 2023. And it kind of morphed into something a little bit different, like when we all kind of like came together and did different things with it. But yeah, that's a song that's been in existence for a long time. I wrote it after watching the show, like Euphoria. It was like the end of the first season of Euphoria, and I was like, that is crazy. And I had to like do something with it. It was like too crazy for me to just like let it sit for a long time, you know.
Yeah, I had to stop watching that show Sunday nights. That's the biggest anxiety inducing show on earth, and made me sweat, and I didn't like that.
When the second season came out, I watched it with my girlfriend, and I distinctly remember there was an episode where Rue was like running through like houses and stuff like that in the second season, and I literally had to stand up and pause it and like take a walk for like 10 minutes and then come back, because I was like, there's no way I could watch this all in one sitting. It's like too much.
What about the song? What about the show and like kind of influenced the song?
I think like so the show is so aesthetically specific. I think that show is like a show that's very much built on visuals. It's built on it's a cautionary tale more than anything else, and so is the song. It kind of makes it sound like the whole song is kind of inspired by almost like an anti-drug PSA kind of vibe, which is what Euphoria feels like to me in a lot of ways. It's like if you're not careful with doing things recreationally, they can become problematic. And the show is kind of just a really glitzy, like beautiful tragedy kind of thing. And I think that Euphoria, the song, kind of reflects that same trajectory of like, this is a really funky, fun listen, but it's actually telling you to kind of pay attention and listen to people and listen to your own common sense to know that there are certain things that you probably shouldn't be doing with your life. And it makes it sound really preachy when I kind of say it out like that, but I think that it has become something that is like a very aesthetically defining song for kind of what we do. There's a lot of different layers and a lot of different musical moments that happen in that song that I think are really good encapsulations of where we are as a band.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You know, for the rest of you guys, like where do you, I mean, when he brings that to you guys and you guys start kind of jamming on it in 22, 23, like what, you know, how did each of you guys kind of bring your, you know, little bit of, you know, your personality into that one?
Yeah. I mean, it was, for the three of us, I remember multiple times asking like, let's cut this as a pump tune. Like, let's cut this. It's so sick. Finally, we got to do it. And I'm so glad we did, because it's definitely become one of our favorite ones. But I feel like what's really cool about how this song came to be as a production is that a lot of the things that ended up happening were stuff that we did live, kind of like unconsciously to start. Like Pop has some bass lines that kind of transition to new sections that just he started doing every time, and then I caught it, and then Trent caught it. And next thing you know, it almost produced itself on stage. So it was cool to take the elements of that and put it into the studio production, but still have it also be a full studio production with horns and all the backing vocals and everything that we don't necessarily have live. I don't know if anybody else to add on to that, but
I mean, I think Spencer came to us with a solid groove, and then, like Jack said, it just kind of came to be as we're messing around with it. Some of the shows that we played in the past are less full, so there was a little bit more room for limit testing. And I think that's a way that I developed a lot of the things that I really like to do when we're in the big moments and it's like time to play the stuff that we need to play. But yeah, it was just really cool to find what worked for that song, especially since it was already written.
Yeah. What about you, Trent?
Yeah, I think for that one, my job was pretty easy because that little guitar lick was kind of written and established to begin with. So I didn't really have to do much heavy lifting that time. But I think that like what Jack said, I think a cool wrinkle of our band is comparing our studio cuts to the way we play them live. Um, I think there's a healthy amount of embellishment to where, like, if we recorded a live album and you just played it right after our discography, there would be a lot of cool differences in it, the way that we perform those songs. And when we have a song that exists before we go into the studio and recording, it's like Jack says, those kind of growths on the project sort of end up working their way into the studio and then into the recording process. So there's a couple more kind of examples of that in our stuff, and definitely in the future stuff too.
Yeah, live with this one, Trent is pretty much got a 2-minute long guitar solo feature that is absolutely not on the record. There's a drum solo at the end, but but it is really cool, and I really do love how it came out. I'm super proud of that one from all facets of it.
What for you guys, like, how do you remember, like, obviously it's kind of an amalgamation, but like, how do you remember, you're like, okay, like, we played Euphoria tonight, like, I love the way we played it. Like, how does everybody individually remember how they played it? And they're like, all right, we're gonna lay it down in the studio in 2 weeks, like, photograph it in your head. Like, what does that look like?
I think that's a twofold. There's two answers to that. One is, thankfully, we have a lot of time to play them a lot of the time before we actually lay them down. So these are songs that sometimes we play for like a year or two before we actually get to the studio. So we have reps. There's repetitions. We've done it like many, many times in a similar way, not quite the same way, but in a similar way every single time. So we have those repetitions. But more than remembering what we do, it's listening. And I think that that's something that is super unique about our setup as a band, is that more important than remembering the twists and the turns of the arrangement, we don't play to tracks. We don't play to a click. We don't do any of that stuff. We're playing because we're listening to what's going on and we're reacting to it. And so when there's a reaction in that arrangement, in that situation where we feel like that's something that's cool, usually we'll just remember it because we're like, damn, that was really cool. That was like that was a really nice moment that we went for. Or it's something that we heard you do last time. It's not really so much memory as it is just keeping your ears open and listening more than. That was something that a professor that I had in college said a lot. Listen way more than you play. And I think that philosophy has really permeated our live set a lot, where we're really listening. Like, if you watch us play, I'm like, there are times where Trent will play something and I'll like whip my head to the side because I'm listening. I like heard it. I was like, whoa, he's never done that before. That's cool. Or Jack will play something and I'm like, I turn my head back because I'm like hearing everything that's going on and I'm trying to pay attention to it all,
Interesting. Which goes back to y'all's film study, making sure y'all, you're watching each other, getting the ticks, getting the different things going. I think that's so important. For, like, would y'all define yourselves as funk? I mean, like, I kind of think of, I make this like the funk face whenever I'm listening to y'all, but like, I mean, it doesn't necessarily, like, I mean, we're not, it's not, play that funky music, white boy. Like, I mean, it's not the same kind of funk that you'd, throw in the 100% funk album, but like, what do you, where do you throw your category? I mean, it's hard to label yourself, obviously, but
yeah, I feel like I've been saying funky indie rock for the past like year, and it feels like it gets the point across to a lot of people. I always the adage that I keep going back to is like, if songs about Jane, Maroon 5 listened to a lot more Stevie Wonder when they were younger, that's what we would sound like. But then you have like Trent like ripping some guitar solos, and there's like things that don't fit that mold, but. I don't know. I don't really know. If you guys have a better answer, please feel free. I never have a good answer to that question.
I think that's the best possible answer, but I think we like the melting pot aspect, because I think we have such an eclectic personal taste in music that cool when little moments can pop out. Even when I listen back to our music and there's stuff I don't remember that we don't do live anymore, that was like a studio production thing on the first EP, and like, oh, that sounds like it was inspired by this folk record that I haven't listened to in 2 years, but it's found its way into Pump Action. It's just, it's cool that we can be rooted in some, like that funk rock genre, but take all over to make it what makes Pump Action special.
Yeah. Now, who has the best funk face? This is a band. When I have bands on, like
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
I got a real
Yeah.
scene behind the kit that I can't control.
Yeah.
oh
Once I
man,
start playing down that bass, man, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
definitely Jack.
Yeah, I'm like the least photogenic drummer ever. If somebody gets a picture of me that I like, immediately goes on social media because it's like 1 out of every 2,000. Yeah.
Well, when you guys are going in and like you've created a ton of content on YouTube. Tex and I were hanging out Friday night last week, and he was like, "Dude, I got Pump Action next week." He's like, "Well, have you done any research?" I'm like, "I mean, I'm doing it right now. What are you talking about? We're gonna watch some Pump Action now." And we've turned on like the 360 camera view. I'm trying to remember which song it was, but like, what inspires you guys to do those things? Like, do y'all have like somebody who's super into production? Because I mean, that is a very quality video in like a studio. So like, where is that filmed, and what all goes into that?
Literally in this is our
It's in this
is our house. This is the master bedroom of the house that me and Pop live in. This is our Pump Action workspace, but that video specifically is the brainchild of sort of our honorary 5th member, who is Dudley Merriam. He's a fantastic engineer, audio engineer, monitor engineer, studio engineer, all of that stuff. And he, in college, had this thing called Miami Unplugged, which wasn't really unplugged, but just kind of like a Tiny Desk style, like
Sure.
live studio series. And then it just started to max out to full studio. And then when he moved here with us, he got the 360 camera and kind of wanted to branch it into a new thing where it's still live video, but there's a more of a physical component that you can scroll around in. And fortunately, he lets us be the kind of beta testers for a lot of his stuff. And the videos came out fantastic. And we used them all over for all kinds of different clips. And he's an amazing engineer, so we know that the mix is going to be great and it's going to be great to post. So yeah, I mean, the Circle Up stuff is definitely all him, but we're grateful that he includes us in all his different projects.
Yeah, I mean, that was cool. And like, I mean, we were watching on the TV, so I couldn't do like the full like thing, but I got everybody. I got everybody on the on the vibe. It was awesome. Well, good. Well, transitioning over, want to get to some, a little bit lighter topic. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. 20 questions right in a row where we're just going to rip through, and you guys each will answer. So, I mean, I'm excited to watch we'll go Trent first, and then we'll go Trent, Pop, Jack, and Spencer. So that way, you guys, the camera will go pop, pop. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll be really quick with these whip pans. It looks super sick.
Everybody's gonna get dizzy while watching it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, like, look, we're getting people dizzy that we're doing our job.
Yeah,
we should have done this on the 360.
That would have been insane. Podcast would be a pretty cool idea, though.
Don't steal that. That's
Yeah.
ours.
Hey, you got it. Hey, look, I don't steal anything. I got you're looking at the production here. Like, unless y'all come down to Atlanta, you want to get on my buddy at Argyle Records couch. That's about as wild as we get there. But
stay at my parents' house, dude. I'm like right around the corner. I'm sure.
Let's go. But we'll rip Pete Peterson's party pack of questions, starting with Trent. If we go 3, 2, 1, cake or pie, Trent?
Ooh, pie, definitely.
Pie.
Cake.
Pie.
All right. Salad or soup?
Soup.
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 Soup. It's gotta be soup.
The consensus soup from all the Miami guys. Wild. Anyway, sunrise or sunset? What are you guys seeing more of these days?
I prefer sunset, I think.
Sunset, yeah.
Sunset.
Sunset for sure.
All right. Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Ooh. Score a touchdown. Yeah.
Touchdown.
Home run.
What? Give me 7, dude. Touchdown.
Either.
Baseball still has my heart, man.
All right.
We play a lot of
Night in or night out? What do you got? What are you having more of?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Not night out, but it's a close 7-game series. Night out in 7.
Okay.
Night in.
Night in.
I prefer a night out. I'm having more nights in right now.
All right. When you do go out and your jam comes on, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm?
The robot.
Robot.
A very bad robot.
Yeah, the robot. You haven't seen the floors of a Nashville bar if you're hitting the worm.
All right. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Ooh.
Queso.
What? Queso.
Guac.
Guac.
All right.
Yeah, Trent, wait, say it normal.
What are you talking about?
How you normally say it.
Queso.
Queso.
Say it normal.
I'm saying it normal. It's like,
You're
I'm
flexing
going
with
to get,
friends right now.
going to get some queso.
No. Oh, no. Queso Perry over here. Jeez. All right. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Waffles.
Pancakes.
What? It's waffles. Easy. It's gotta be waffles.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Tea.
Coffee.
I'm going to be the outlier in most of
All
these.
right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Comfortably.
Dogs.
Dogs, easy.
Dogs. Easy.
Dogs all day. Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
Ooh. A pirate, I think.
I think I'll just say R on this one.
Yeah, probably a pirate, I guess.
It's a ninja for sure.
Ninja. All right. Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade.
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 Powerade.
All right. All right. Toast or bagels?
Blue Powerade, 100%.
Bagels.
Bagels.
Bagels, easy.
I'm sorry, was it toast or bagels?
Yeah.
Bagels. Yeah, bagels.
Bagels. Chips or pretzels?
Chips.
Chips.
Pretzels.
Chips.
All right. Fries or tots?
Fries.
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 Tots.
That's TV show or a movie after a long day?
A movie.
TV.
TV.
Movie.
All right. Are aliens real?
Oh my god. Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're kidding. Yes. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Yes.
That's a hard yes. All right.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure they are, yeah.
All right. Is Bigfoot real?
No.
Now we're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
What?
No.
No.
Is love at first sight real?
And probably not. But I'm gonna go ahead and just say yes, just to keep it light. Give people hope out there listening to this.
Yeah.
I like that, Trent. I'll be glass half full and say yes.
I'm gonna agree. Yeah.
All right. I love it. All right. Last question. Each one of you guys gets one. Who is one band that we ought to check out that we might not know?
Fashion Jackson.
Fashion
It's my
Jackson.
favorite indie band of all time. They're not around anymore, man. But they're good.
Men I Trust.
Men I Trust. All right. I know them.
I can say local brand.
That's a good one. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say local brand. Very gently.
Very Gently. Love it. I got Fashion Jackson, Men I Trust, Local Brand, and Very Gently. Boys, you guys crushed the Pete Peterson party pack of questions.
Sick.
We have one more segment here. Everyone's got to take out their phone and show me what you have been searching on Spotify. Last search, I will do it as well, as it is an incredible invasion of privacy. So,
Vitamin Me.
and if if it has anything to do with this interview, then skip that and go to the next one.
Is it just the most recent one? I got a
Yeah.
couple ridiculous ones.
Yeah.
The most recent one, we got should I show it? My most recent one was Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
What is that?
Love that. Love that.
You never heard that track? That's an all-time track, man. That's a good one.
Down, but I get up again.
You're never gonna keep me down. I'm gonna get you down.
The canvas cover. Is that the album cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Good.
The band's got Chumbawamba.
Revolution. All right.
Did just have that.
I got this guy on TikTok. He's got this song called Vitamin Me that's been going viral right now. And
Soda pop.
cool.
Soda pop. All right. All right.
It's a great listen.
It was absolutely the Dijon album, but the most recent song was Paul Simon, Diamonds on the Soles of Your Shoes.
Good song.
Okay.
A good one.
Good
And
song.
mine is Ginger Root.
I saw them open for Japanese breakfast like 3 weeks ago. Never heard them before. Huge fan.
Yeah, they're good.
So good.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, they came to Atlanta like a while ago and I saw them and it was sick. And I haven't seen them come back here. I think they've come back once before, but like I'm really excited.
On stage and everything, like they're just so innovative. Their live set.
Yeah.
Huge.
My friends in Atlanta put me on to Ginger Root like not that long ago. Good stuff.
Dude, nothing like it.
Talk about like YouTube and visuals. I mean, that's like it's just insane. Yeah.
Dude, it just like I just remember I saw them at Aisle 5 here. It's like a pretty small venue. And they're now playing at Terminal. They're playing at Terminal West in not this coming Saturday, this Saturday after. So I'm super excited to go rip it and get faced and watch them. It's gonna be sick.
That's one of the best venues in Atlanta, in my opinion. Terminal West rocks.
Yeah,
it's not the Tabernacle, but it's close.
Yeah, it definitely on the west side of town. It's good.
Yes,
well, the boys of Pump Action. I mean, what do we got plugging? What are we coming out with next? What can we expect? Obviously, we got to follow you on Spotify. Follow you guys on the social medias. Some of that, all that will be linked out below. But like, what's coming out next? What are we looking forward to?
I don't know if we're allowed to announce it. Are we? Can we do that?
When is this coming out?
This will come out in July, second week of July.
That's
yeah.
Perfect. No, perfect. Okay. The next single is going to be out soon. We don't have the date yet. Do we?
Mid-July.
Mid-July.
Mid-July. All right.
Pretty sure July 11th, but don't quote us
on that. When I Thought You Were the One, the song that we had that 360 video for, that'll be our next single out. We just finished the mix. It's going to be off to mastering this week.
It's off the chain.
Can I say that on camera?
I love it.
It's off the chain.
It's off the chain. Hey, When I Thought You Were the One, mid-July. Be on the lookout for it. It's going to be everywhere.
We're excited.
The boys of Pump Action. We are all about it. Appreciate y'all coming on.
It'll be almost a year.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of growth since then. We have some big content plans and we have some maybe some first lyric videos. I don't know. We have a lot of big ideas for this one. So we really want to give it the time it's worth. So.
And you're driving your ass down 75 and come to see us in Atlanta. I mean, we got to have it.
Yeah. Yes, to celebrate the release.
Yeah. Come on. I'll host the show. I've done it before. We'll do it. Let's go.
That'd be
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome, guys. Y'all take care. Thank y'all so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah.